Anyway.
We were getting into gear and that sort of thing, and I think that the whole thing of that's the next thing that's because you want to talk about sound gear.
Yeah, I
That's
found
right.
something pretty cool.
Well, I want to talk about this, and then we can segue into yours. How
go
about
for
that?
it.
So gear is one of those things with photography and filmmaking that people get so wrapped up in, and I do as well because I really enjoy it. It is the one thing that I willingly spend money on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't spend money on anything else. I buy cameras, I buy lenses, I buy lights. That's it.
And then fuel and food, and that's it.
Literally. And I'm still broke because cameras are expensive.
The cameras are...
But you don't need good gear to make good films. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can make a film on a phone, but there is a line.
Yeah.
And there is a point where you will need to upgrade, and that's fine. I always find it so frustrating with YouTube content creators who are like, you can just, and this is Casey Neistat's big thing, and I love him. He is a fantastic filmmaker.
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree with the fact that you can make films on any piece of gear, but they will not be the best kind of quality.
Yeah.
And there are other things that you need to learn first. You need to learn lighting first. You need to learn composition first. All of these things will help. But gear also helps. You can shoot the most boring thing on a red camera and it'll still look cinematic. And that's just how it is, you know? And at some point you're going to have to weigh up the pros and cons of whether the cost of that is worth it.
Yeah.
Because shooting stuff on my EOS R is so much easier than it was on my 80D. Like, I can just shoot and shoot and shoot on that EOS R, and I have so much more wiggle room in post. The photos come out much better straight out of my camera.
Yeah.
Shooting is easier with an electronic viewfinder. I know exactly what shot I'm getting, rather than just guessing using the exposure meter.
Actually, that's what I noticed as well. It freaked me out when the thing turned off.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're going to take, and that has been super helpful because I don't have dud photos now.
Yeah.
Like, every photo I take is intentional. It's like, okay, I know exactly what this photo is going to look like immediately.
Yeah.
Rather than just being like, oh, the exposure bar is like somewhere in the middle, so hopefully this comes out good. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm sure that there's similar stuff with audio.
Oh, for sure. Even the big debate, I've spoken about this before, I think, with analog gear and digital gear. So using what's better, digital plugins that are emulators for analog gear, or actually having the analog gear, which will be like $2,000 for a unit compared to maybe $500 for 5 plugins that emulate 5 different things.
Yeah.
But it's similar. Like you'll probably... It also depends on what music you're making. If you're doing like pop or obviously electronic, no outboard gear is going to sound as good as the super clean digital made stuff, because that's just the sound you're going for. But if you're going for maybe progressive rock or something super grungy or punk or something, I don't know, and you're trying to get that sort of older day vibe, then putting it through a really big Neve compressor or a summing amp or something, an outboard one will definitely sound better just because you get that analog grunge and sort of if you push it really hard you can really hear the difference. But then again, digital stuff is getting better and better. So it's really the same thing. Gear will make it sound a little bit better. It'll always make things easier,
but it won't make you a good
no
sound engineer or a good filmmaker. Yeah,
no,
that's my thing as well.
Yeah,
you need to be a good photographer or filmmaker first.
Yeah, you need to learn how to do it with the $200 worth of gear rather than the $20,000 worth of gear. Yeah, exactly. That's a really good sentiment. Yeah, because if you can't do it with the $200 worth of gear,
what makes you think you're going to be able to do it with 5,000?
You're not going to be able to.
Yeah,
it's not going to sound good.
That's why I bought a cheap drone first. I'm still on my Mavic Mini,
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah, it's a great. And
Now I want one.
I'm reaching. That's my thing now with the Mavic Mini. I'm reaching my limits of the Mavic
Yeah.
Mini now.
Mm.
After a year of owning it,
Yeah.
like I bought it immediately when it came out.
Right.
So, and it's a great little drone.
It is.
But I'm seeing now like the limitations of it. Like, oh, I don't have sensors. I don't have manual control. I don't have shutter. I don't have shutter, aperture, anything. I don't have nothing. It's all auto.
Yeah.
Which really frustrates me.
Yeah, especially because your photography now,
Yeah.
it's like everything's manual and all that kind of stuff.
Even video. Everything I do is manual. I don't.
wow.
I do nothing in auto.
Oh,
So it's really frustrating
when it's
when I'm forced to use auto in something
Yeah.
that can absolutely be done manually.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm looking at new
hear that.
drones, so
Yeah.
that'll be my. I think that'll be my. I think I'm gonna buy the because I bought the lens. I bought the lens
Oh, yeah.
for the Black
4K.
Magic.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna buy the rig, and then I'm gonna chill out for a bit,
And then buy a drone, and then
and then buy a drone at the end of the year.
yeah, nice.